Hello, folks, and welcome to the Friend or Foe Lounge. This is the first episode of Season 6, which I'm honestly quite surprised that we've made it this far. It's just kind of like this adventure just never ends, it feels like. It's just constantly going.
Well, hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, and I guess as you can all tell, we've got joining us on the caster stage. For those of you who do not recognize the voices yet, I've got co-hosting with me for this season, Chris Sunga, aka Big Boss Man.
Yes.
The
Hello.
Founder of FOF, joining us. So,
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have someone sitting across from me on the desk, so I actually have someone regularly bounce my dumb Silver Scrapes ideas off of.
I'll carry you, Sharogen. Don't you worry. Get on my back. I'm just kidding.
And with that, we've also got the Warleader from RLS joining us today. And I've got some questions for you regarding some of these newer teams that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit, Warleader, because I want to get your thoughts on them. But let's just kind of hop into this. What do you guys think about like the opening ceremony and all that for like when Season 6 started? I don't know about you guys, but I was like, man, here we go again.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I love FOF so much.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, it feels nice to be back in the swing of things. I don't know if anyone like feels me on this, but it feels really weird to like do a job or something like consistently every week for like X amount of months, and then it's just snap gone for like 2 months, and then getting back into it. It's like a really weird feeling, but feels nice.
That's just school, baby.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that makes sense. That's true.
And I thought we were done with school.
I'm not too removed from it yet. It's only been a year.
Yeah, how's your education, Mr. Richard?
Oh, I'm so glad to be done.
Yeah, congratulations, sir.
Yeah, it's been a full year now officially.
Oh wow, heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
It's awesome to
welcome to adult life.
Yeah, not have to worry about that stuff. I remember maybe it's too off topic, but I remember I was super worked up about like working a 9-to-5 job instead of school, and I was so worried for so long, and then I did it. I'm like, oh, this is just better.
yeah, I feel it. Love education, but don't want to go back.
Yep,
I feel you.
You know, you say that, and I've actually like been contemplating. I kind of like I like my current job that I do outside of FOF, but it's like I wonder if I want to go teach.
I get you. Teaching can be fulfilling.
It can
be. I did it for like 2 years for like art students of like college age. That was like they either couldn't afford to go to art school or they had like disabilities. So it's fine. I like got to teach art. Really fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. And that's what I mean. Like that's the kind of stuff that I'd love to do is actually be able to use this film degree for something other than my own stuff. Like actually find a way to give back with it.
Heck yeah, man.
But like let's go ahead and hop into this. Like just talking about the league, we've had 2 days worth of craziness, I think is a good way to describe it. Like these games, these games were a lot more intense, and I think that's actually one of the beautiful things about Friend or Foe in general. Like we have such a how do you put this? It's like I think it was Zen who may have said it during one of the games on day 2, where there's just something about the Friend or Foe community that's just it's like friends and friends and friends and friends and friends. There's not really any foes.
Yeah, I'm false advertising here. It looks like everyone's a little too friendly.
we need to create more strife that doesn't cause
we need more villains. We need more people to step up. If you're willing to volunteer to be flamed the whole season, let me know. I'll set you up as the villain.
I think Brenda Fang over Fang is getting a little tired of that, being the only country.
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, just kind of like hopping into this. Do we want to start off with Warleader's power rankings and just kind of run through those real quick?
Yes,
like this is all
Warleader.
Yes. And just so you folks know who are listening to this for the first time and have no other interactions with Friend or Foe, you can find all this information on our FF Connect, which is a weekly magazine that Chris somehow finds the time to do.
Oh, bro, don't even. We're not even going to start talking about that. Deadlines are a crutch for bad players. Warleader. I sent Warleader to go interview all of the teams and give me the vibe checks. Let me know. What do you think? Tell me about these teams.
Oh, I got a really good spectrum, all good vibes, but I got a crazy spectrum. Just from like vibing with the teams, I had interviews that were as long as, let's see, how long is that one? As long as 25 minutes. I had interviews as short as 4.5 minutes. I think if you read the Connect, it's pretty obvious who's who on that spectrum. Yeah. But I really enjoyed, like, what stands out to me among that is I really enjoyed hanging out the Cloud9 folks. They're so chill. They're so chill. I just like bombed into a Discord call. I asked Music Boy, I'm like, hey, you want to do this interview for our FOS magazine? He's like, yeah, you want to interview the whole team? I'm like, sure, get me in there. I just flopped into this call, and everyone was so nice. Everyone was so chill. It was really good vibes all around. It's one of those settings that you can drop into and just sort of feeling it out. You instantly sort of know who's who in the group.
My TOs tell me they're a bunch of memers.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah. Reps and TOs are like, yeah, they're just a bunch of memers.
Yep. Completely agree on that.
Well done. Thoughts on what about team? How do you say? Yeah,
I've had the privilege of being in their Discord server. I guess the two of our brand new teams I've been in, like, the general Discord stuff. Oh my god, Team is like the most beautiful cluster of all time. It's like it's interesting. There's a lot of inside jokes. There's a lot of flaming each other.
Oh yeah.
And there's approximately like 3 words per message.
Yeah.
It's that kind of speech style, and it's everybody.
Yeah. It seemed like it. I had to ref them for their first game because we were a little bit short-staffed, which is also unfortunate because we had that spectator situation.
Oh yeah.
They were the victims of the referee jumping in and out and hopping and whatnot. But they were super funny. When I was hearing them, I was just like, thank God this is the first game of the day. Let's go. So good. Let's go down the list. Yeah. What about Art of War?
I've talked to Ariri quite a bit. Ariri's still Ariri. I think the sort of new bit of news is that Sword Blue's their coach. And that seems like it's going to really shake up the way that team prepares and strategizes. Already in week 1, there are some behaviors that AWE does season in, season out that I noticed were not present.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I know Escape really likes to harp on, they like to overcommit people to different situations, and I felt like they were rationing their champions actually really well in the right spots. And the way they were playing the macro, I mean, it was just so much different than every other AWE team I'd seen. And I could tell that there was a lot of outside influence that just changed what was the norm for the way that, as far as I can tell, Ariri is this one-shot calling along with Total Trash, who we've seen before on Team Spirit, and just the way that they were playing the game was definitely different than what I was expecting and used to from them. So I'm excited to see how that changes over the course of the season.
Sword Blue Diff.
I think you're absolutely right saying Sword Blue Diff. It's like having a whole new showrunner for a TV show. You can instantly tell when they switched people. Like Doctor Who is the best example that you can tell when they switch showrunners. That switch in coaching, AWE is looking a little terrifying this year. I know they've always been kind of like that team where it's like, yeah, they're not bad. They're definitely there. They're a team. But I think they're like a sleeping giant that's kind of woken up.
Yeah, people like to harp on them for being, or at least harp on Ariri for being inconsistent. But last season, I felt like it wasn't that bad, actually. I felt like maybe season 3, season 4, probably just so heavy that everyone remembers it. Mm-hmm. Last season wasn't that bad from what I remember. Mm-mm. And this season, I mean, it looks like he's got a solid
Yeah, no, I have never seen them as any of like as a bad team in previous seasons. Like even when they were originally that split spear sword situation, like they always seem. Yeah, it's like they always have had very strong elements to the team. Like Oriri's done a really good job of like just collecting people and getting them together. It's just I think the Sword Blue's voice is gonna be that glue that kind of binds everything together. It's like when you put in a little bit of flour into a dough that's just a little bit too runny, and it just starts to make it fluff up and thicken.
I do have some interesting takes for AWE when we actually get to the power rankings. So,
okay, so ping you when that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's finish doing this quick rundown and then go from there.
I just want to say. Okay, so first of all, Sword Blue context is a homie of my younger brother. So like he's been over to my house. We've like hung out a lot. And I know him as kind of like me, kind of a lazy man. When I heard that he was coaching, I thought it was just going to be like, Oriri slapping his name on there. It was just and then I'm hearing I'm like talking to my brother, talking to him, hearing how much work he's actually doing. It's kind of insane.
No, he's going in.
About him. Yeah, he's going in. Or Blue Diff. Anyway, yeah, we can move on.
C9's next on that list. I think if we're just going straight down.
We talked about them briefly.
We already talked about them.
Yeah, we already mentioned them briefly, so skip over that.
Yeah. I do want to say C9 is a case of they're looking like they're starting from the bottom, but I've seen teams excel over time because of friend or foe, and would like to take credit of that sometimes. I'm hoping.
Warleader, I'm gonna have to ask you about like the game that they played against you on day 2.
Yeah.
Because, like I disagree with that take, Chris. I think that they are legitimately a really, really good team. They just kind of gotta.
No! I wasn't saying they were bad.
No. You said they're starting at when you say that they're starting at the bottom. It's more of like I think that at a skill level, we haven't seen them actually like at their true skill level. Is what I'm saying. I'm saying they're like Vegeta, where they haven't been given a real challenge yet. No one's actually like gotten them to pull out their actual strength.
Yeah, C9's just warming up.
Yeah, it's like I was reffing in their comms and they were so chill. Oh
yeah, those guys are great.
Like they were just so calm, and it's like I am looking forward to seeing what they do because I think they're going to be the team that pulls out the crazier comps and will pull them off and actually make them work out really, really well.
My immediate impression is that they're not tiltable.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like in game 2, because they were like basically crushing it until like in that mid game, and then you guys end up pulling it out at the win at the end.
Yeah, that's not tilt. That's Five's experience. We can get into that a little bit later if we want to, but
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cloud9, I'm here for the Cloud9 hoodie.
Yep.
I'm here for the hoodie.
Yeah, and then we've got returning champions in the trees.
Oh boy,
it's like. Just bow explode.
Yeah, people were not sure how they would look with the break they took from the game. And I don't know if it's a fish diff or what, but the way that bow explode runs that map is beyond what any jungler in this league is capable of at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's really going to push that envelope with utility monster and leaves going up to Mythic. I was kind of, for a minute, I was like, am I the best jungler? and then I watched Bo Explode play 2 games, and I'm like, nope, I'm not. I got work to do, which is always a good spot to be in. But when I first joined the league, I had watched Season 3, I'd watched RLS and Mythic, but I also watched Heroic, and every time I watched Bo Explode, I went, man, I want to be as good as that guy is. Why is he flat? I don't get it, but that team's going to be incredibly scary as long as he's not playing Blitzcrank.
Yeah, true. INT always feels like the benchmark. Like, if you want to hang out with the cool boys, gotta beat that. It always felt like, at least back then. These days, I don't know how it feels like for the guys. I don't know what kind of narrative how the narrative I've spun is going in their heads. But
I think that'll be something interesting to see, like whenever we get some of the newer players on here, be like, so what's your take on FOF, and see how things are shaping up for those guys. Well,
the funniest comment I've ever gotten is like, dude, what the hell is going on? There's so much content.
That is legitimately my favorite thing. I hear it so often. It's like, why do you guys go so hard? And it's like,
because it's fun.
Fun.
It is like
I'm a limit tester.
This is the evidence of what passion can do. Like, if you just get a bunch of people together to like just make this content, this is what happens. You do something you're passionate in, this is what you're going to create.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then of course we got Pentacle Team Up Please, or RLS technically. Oh no, it is Pentacle Team Up Please. That was the one pager.
All right. I got a lot of thoughts because I know Tadeus and Sundara personally, and I recommended them FOF, or I recommended Tadeus FOF. He wanted to be a sub. They needed a starter, so he stepped into that role. And then I don't know what happened to their support, but he grabbed his best friend and brought him in.
Gotcha.
That team's gonna have some growing pains. There's a lot of scheduling issues that I'm privy to because I know them.
Gotcha.
They have almost zero practice time. Their schedules are like basically completely incompatible.
I see.
So it's going to be a matter of making those weekends count for them and making that practice time count. They're gonna have to be a grower. They're not gonna come in and slap anybody around. But they're definitely a team to watch. And they've had a lot of unique picks so far that I was interested in. I was really interested in the Camille, the Ornn. Yeah, I thought it was played pretty well.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I think this team, given their scheduling time and everything, and how I've seen most teams tackle it, the science just seems to be like, just learn from the games that you can play, like the FOF game. Learn as much as you can from the little ones that you, and they'll be fine.
And honestly, Friend of Foe is a great crucible for that. Like, it's a great testing ground to kind of like just get a good idea of where you are in the game and like what you're up against in a fives situation, because it's a whole other beast from solo queue.
Yeah, even flex queue, it's totally different.
Oh, and then do you want to talk about yourself? Want to talk about
talk about myself?
Yeah.
I mean, their jungler, their jungler kind of blows, but other than that, they got a lot of good pieces there. But actually, what I'm going to talk about is the differences between this RLS and previous RLSs. So, Tef and Escape are role swapping, which is
yes.
Yeah. So
give me the details.
Tef really wanted to play ADC. We were talking all off season about putting a team together. My timing didn't quite work out for wanting to captain up a team. Their interests kind of went elsewhere over the course of the off season, and we didn't end up getting anything together. But Tef really wanted to play ADC, and so when we were throwing together our RLS, this RLS roster was formed in like 8 hours of me talking to Utility Monster and being like, "Hey, I think I could get you an 8th team if you need it." He's like, "Can you do it in 8 hours?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do it in 8 hours." So I got Tef ADC, and then as soon as Tef was on board, Escape was like, "Yo, we gotta do the lane swap."
Yeah. Heck yeah. I mean, Tef was ADC even way back when, season 1, season 2.
Yeah, even yeah, like season 3, right? Vanal was top one. Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And they did a lot of swapping around. I mean, Tef's kind of been around the block on that, but Tef really wanted to play ADC. And then for mid lane, I had 2 candidates that I was interested in, and they both said yes. So we're gonna play them both out. Both Kaori and Ruby are people that we've played a lot of League of Legends with. They both have extremely different skill sets.
Yeah,
I think as you can tell from the difference between a FOF Zed game and an FOF
Zed versus Talia is 2 very different mid laners. Yeah.
And the way that they play is very different. I mean, Kaori is no fear, and it's a problem.
I got this, guys.
There's a little bit of fear. Ruby is definitely a lot more worried. I don't know if that's like the right word, but more like apprehensive to go for stuff. And I think their champion pools like actually completely reflect that. And it's a matter of which one sort of adapts. So we're gonna be playing in both. I mean, RLS has always had the attitude that regular season is the testing grounds and playoffs is where stuff really starts. So yeah, that's sort of the RLS story this time around. I guess the only other thing to mention is the trade with where originally myself and Cowrie and Jaffe were subs for that team, and Anti was starting, and I took that entire sub roster for RLS
and poached all of them.
Yeah, and then Anti was like, "Wait, I want to be on the RLS roster." so we took their sub, and then advertised, "Hey, you want this starter?"
Yeah.
But actually, though, Jaffe's so good. Like, it was kind of a crime that he was subbing.
Yeah. Honestly, fair trade.
Yeah.
I say fair. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Cowrie fan. I just want to put that out there because there's very few throughout the history of Heroic League. You know, there's very few like dead players, like Assassin-y dead laners. I've seen so many control mages throughout just the entirety of FOF. It just feels nice. Yeah.
It was so incredibly hype in that voice call when Andrew God Gamer, our coach, says, "Yo, I think this is a Z angle," and everyone just pops off.
Andrew Diff.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And but we have our two different mid laners, and both of them won the MVP in their respective games. So as captain, I've got my work cut out for me on figuring that out. But that's a problem for future me.
Yeah. Why don't we move on to flower team? Flower.
Okay.
Painting a flower.
A wash.
The washed.
So I'll elaborate on this when we get into my power rankings. But this is a team with immense potential that did absolutely not gel. It went horribly in week 1. Yeah. And if you just sort of watch the way that the new players integrated with the core players that were there in the previous season, there was some really obvious struggles and things were not working. And as far as like the specifics, well, I want to get into that a little more with the power rankings, but I think on an individual level, all of their players are very high caliber.
I agree with that. I agree with that completely.
A hard agree. There's no qualifiers, so there was no extra weeks for y'all to figure things out for a second. So a little bit of a speed run time. Here. Yeah. But
I mean, to be fair, not having qualifiers is really good for teams that need time to grow. And I think Wash is good. Like the Flower is going to be a team that needs the time to grow. So they don't get the extra experience. The extra experience is always so good as long as you make it in.
Facts. Facts. Yeah.
So it's definitely a trade-off there.
Yeah. I used to think when I was on BBZ, I used to think take the first 3 weeks to figure everything out, like settle yourself. The last like 4 weeks, playoffs, focus on playoffs, get to playoffs. That's what it felt like. I think.
Yeah, I respect that a lot. That's similar to how RLS approaches things.
Okay.
And then the last team, once
team?
week's wet.
All right.
Wet team.
This team is such a wild card.
Yeah?
I don't really understand much of the workings of this team.
Okay.
Even after having talked to them?
Yeah. Even after having talked to them, even after having watching them play, I'm like, I don't. What's happening? Yeah. I mean, they were. Eddie's great. I love talking.
Of course.
To Eddie, but and he did give me good summaries of his plans, but at the same time, I don't know enough about really the other players and how they feel and like the Gohan role swap and all kinds of stuff that's just going on. I'm just like, and they had 2 different subs in 2 different roles in week 1, and it's just like, okay, This team can be anywhere.
It is. I love wild cards because of how much volatility they give to the rankings, and how you never know what it's going to be like going up against them.
Yeah, I will give you the leaks though, because I hang out with Edwin like on a daily basis, or once a week on a daily basis. So it looks like final roster, quote unquote, is it's looking like it's going to be Black Venom in the jungle, one of their subs. Black Venom in the jungle. Once week support permanently. Tivo/Gohan. He's also another friend of mine. Couldn't make it this season. Looks like
Got it.
he's out of here for now, or at least substitute.
Okay.
So if that affects anyone's predictions or power rankings in the future,
Now you know.
yeah. Now you know. I'm realizing I'm saying this on like the night before Friend or Foe Connect deadlines are due. My bad, guys. My bad.
The beautiful thing is that they're going to be working on those articles while this is getting edited and then published.
Yeah.
So they won't even get
the
warning. So this is for all of you who are time travelers and or living backwards in time, Benjamin Button style.
My bad. My bad. Deadlines are much for bad players.
All right, so I think we've gone over everybody.
That's all of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the brief breakdown of everybody.
18.
Yeah.
Very colorful roster I have. A lot of greens and blues, actual color palette wise. A lot of greens and blues this season.
Yeah,
Yeah, noticing.
we're trying to get
Anyways.
into some purple pink thing. You'll see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You've seen the logo, right? You saw the logo
Your
draft?
new one? No, I have not.
Really? I thought.
Oh wait. A draft. Yeah. I saw the draft.
Yeah. That's all I've got too. But
Yeah. Audience won't know what you're talking about.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
They'll have to. They'll have to wait.
Yeah. Okay. Top power rankings.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's go over it. So, like, Friend or Foe Connect, if you guys haven't read it, go read it. I put a lot of work into it. Read it. There's a power ranking section. Everyone put washed first. Thoughts?
I would have had him second
Yeah?
on my week 1 rankings.
I would have had a top 4 for sure.
I thought they were going to gel a lot better. But I think especially the mid jungle is not working. It's completely not working, and there's plenty of time to put that together. But most teams, basically all the winning teams, were kind of mid jungle gap for the most part. There's a couple outliers, like the Letters Callista game that was significant.
Yeah.
And maybe the Jaffe Fiora game, but that was kind of across the board too. But it was mostly like this mid jungle, just not even just as 2, but the way that they worked around the map is how I felt like teams were winning their games. And Godix Anime and Pure Llama, I feel like just weren't on the same page. They weren't working together. They kind of had different game plans. They were separated a lot. And what both RLS and Wet did because of that was to actually look away from them and try and bully out BJ in top lane. And both teams did it with Mordekaiser and completely removed him from the game. I don't know if Wet just watched what we did, but we identified just that weakness in his champion pool. And just basically completely removed him from the game. And then also, it's going to take a little bit for Bill and Erebus to get on the same page. They kind of have slightly different styles. Erebus is the most team fighty backline, huge DPS scaling carry. And Bill's really not used to that. With the
shade over to Jeff, by the way. I'm just kidding.
I mean, Jeff was always incredible, but I don't remember Jeff for his Twitch or his Kog'Maw, to be honest.
Yeah.
And some of the Maokai plays, especially, I thought were interesting with the way that Erebus likes to play the game, and they're just not on that same level of how they each want to win the game. I will say they looked a lot better on the Cog Granada against Wet, and they kind of almost brought it back, but a couple positioning errors make that go real rough. Yeah, but actually, current strength, I have them at 7th. Now, my power rankings are a little spicy, I will say.
Okay, lay it on
I've
us.
got them down at 7th. I think they've got a lot of potential. Like I said, I think their players are some of the best in their roles kind of across the board. But teams have already figured out their weaknesses and have already attacked and exploited them. And that puts them in an extremely difficult position come week 2, where I believe they've got a pretty tough schedule. They play and they play Art of War.
Yeah.
And I would be surprised if both of them don't find the same exploits that Wet and RLS already showed.
Yeah, tough matchup.
Expect a lot of Mordekaiser bans from them until PJ irons out that Olaf.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say it's like I personally would not have put Wash that high either. I think I probably would have put them 4th or 5th, just based on who we've got coming in the trees. I think everyone would kind of agree is fairly. I think if we're looking for an odds-on favorite, it'd be in the trees. And then I'm a bit of an awe stan, so I would have put them either 2nd or 3rd.
That's true. You've been a long time Art of War cheerer, bro. Every time we hang out, you're like, I'm rooting for a Riri.
I'm always rooting for a Riri. It might be the fellow support main in me that just kind of wants to root on the support captain, but I having played with him, I just and a couple of other instances, I've always felt that those teams are really strong, and they just have had really bad luck. I feel like luck has been against them in a lot of situations, and it's just kind of plagued them in really negative ways.
True.
I do have to admit, RLS's performance this year. I don't know what it was during their games, but there was just something that seemed odd about it. And for C9 to put y'all on the back foot like that, and it's like a team of a bunch of silvers, which I wasn't sure if you're aware of.
Yeah. Super.
Like that, just watching that made me go, huh?
Incredibly aware, actually. So ridiculously aware.
So
that has been the talk of the RLS server for months. So
I would have put them in my wild card slot for top 4 teams, like with the top 3 in a wild card. They would have been in my wild card slot, and I'm really happy to see that performance on day 2.
Yeah, do we just want to move into talking about them next?
Yeah, I don't see why not. We can do let's just do a quick breakdown of the new teams. I think Wet, C9, and I guess because Ah's also kind of returning. I think XT is a good person to point out, just because of the fact that they did really, really well in the captain's draft, which kind of made them stand out to me initially. It's like, ooh, hello.
We'll start with A.
Yeah. So I think they are personally the 2nd strongest team in FOF right now, right behind INT. Their approach to the game is so the two at the top, INT and A, both have approaches to the game that are completely different than what everyone else is doing. And they're really good at executing on it, and I think that's why those two are the 2 best teams in the league right now. I think that A has a little bit of volatility to that, where Bow Explode is basically always going to be really solid and always shot call the game really well and rally his team. A's still trying to find that voice, and I know that those guys are also a bunch of memers, so I imagine there's a lot of screaming going on in that call.
Fantastic logo, I must say.
Oh, I love that logo. I love
logo.
I'm one of the few that loves the team name. I'm a big fan of the team name.
I like the team name, and I like the burb.
I hate it because it forced me and 2 other producers to sit down for a solid hour to figure out the best way to proceed calling them for anything the Japanese narration and everything, where we're gonna call them A4, Badra A. Is it Super A, or is it A? We didn't know. Oh my god!
I think you should have just gone with the bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I literally asked Tomoka, if my friend who does the Japanese narration, if she could just scream the for that and just like break character for like a second. It was just like, it's really uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, we're not gonna make anyone do that. Nice to see Jaffe back. Sure. I am a Rare Adam fan. Have you guys been watching him?
Oh, Rare Adam is
all.
popping off.
Yeah, he was popping off. I couldn't tell if he was the type of person to be so aggressive, like calculated aggressive, that he just like knows his limits, or if he's just the type of person who doesn't give a and just goes hard, you know.
I would lean more towards the second one.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they know when to back off, and they're also like an enchanter player more than an engage player. But the way that they play the enchanters is really Giga Chat.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of energy of like, I am going to completely disrespect your range because you have to respect every inch of mine.
Right. Which I have to say, I hate Janna players that are like that. It is annoying.
Oh.
It is so painful. I need them to stop and just leave me alone to do my thing.
Well, then you're not going to like Rare Adam very much.
Oh no, I can already tell. Rare Adam's going to be the one to pull out the Renata and actually be able to play them correctly. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be exciting.
We're out here in that Discord simping over the new Janna skin, so.
Understandable. I'm simping over the new Viego skin because I actually feel like
it looks so good.
That's so good.
I have to say, like, Viego has the worst base skin. I'm just gonna put that out there. I do not like his base. I do not like base Viego. I think it's the color scheme and how it looks on the Rift. I can't see what I'm doing.
I think that
I understand.
If he was just wearing full armor, I'm in. I'm all in on the design if he's wearing full armor.
But then he becomes Mordekaiser, and I like his oh god, what do you call it? The whiny femboy king. But
because he's still like twink ghoulish Mordekaiser. He doesn't need a helmet. He can still be super edgy in Spanish. I just think that it breaks his theme to have him be shirtless in his in his gameplay.
I think in his base form
taunt would be hype.
Yeah, I feel like in his base form.
Don't make fun of my boyfriend. Okay. He looks fantastic.
Hey, I just mean that I have to use this skin when I'm playing him. That's all I'm saying. I just think his base form is Garbo, and I think everything his skins are freaking awesome.
I don't like Garbo either, so I'm glad for this one.
All right, moving on.
C9?
What are the other? Yes, C9.
The Silver Scrapes team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
CEO of Bard, just a name or actually you gotta ban it?
You have to ban it. 100%.
Okay.
No question.
Understood.
I'm looking at his play rate. 175 games on Bard, and then the next champion is Nico at 14.
I'm so surprised we didn't get a Nico support into us. I was prepping so hard for Nico support.
Yeah.
I was so sure we were getting Nico support into us. It didn't happen. No, you have to ban the Bard. It's CEO Weird is going to get barred one game in the season. It's going to happen in week 6. Someone's going to get complacent.
Yeah.
They're going to give him the Bard. It's not going to be close. He's going to be everywhere. He's going to ruin every lane. And
someone's got to let it happen. I need to know. Like, I need to see it.
Yeah.
Someone's got to let it happen.
If we played them later than week 5, it would be us. But game 1, week 5, I'm not sure we're going to be at a point where we're that comfortable.
Okay, that's fair.
I hope we are.
Fine. No challenge accepted. I respect the CO one. I thought it was like a strat for a second. I thought like just naming it like something to force everyone else to like waste a ban was a strat for a second. I thought it was so genius, but okay, understood.
And then you look at the play rate and you're like, oh wait.
Yeah, okay, understood.
The way I look at this team is like the Season 3 Mythic RLS, except they actually have 2 Mythic players on their roster.
Oh.
So there are 3 players that are below the league average, are better as a sub and as a team, and are also a little better individually than the ranking suggests.
Okay.
But they've got that synergy with each other, and they just are good friends, and they're memers, and they all have sort of the same disposition, and they work really well together. And so I think depending on the amount of effort that they choose to put in this season, they can actually go a really long way. There's a lot of one more blanks in that game versus them, where it's like they hit one more Annie ult. The Annie builds slightly differently. The Aatrox gets one more Q. The Aatrox doesn't teleport weird. Music Boy doesn't miss position this time, or this time, or this time. Or there's so many one more thing goes right for them, they win that game against us. RLS, I feel like at this point is a little infamous for the mid-game Giga throw into late game. Somehow they win anyway. We did it versus TG and semis and season 4, and we did it against Wash in the quals last season. That's just like kind of something we do, so it's familiar territory. But this one wasn't one play, it was like 12 consecutive plays kind of had to go our way to save that one. And we had a lot of experience, and we're really good at sort of when we get put into that corner, we come up with the right solution, but it's so close. Those guys were really close to doing it, and I think if they can do it against us, they can do it against anyone.
Facts. Yeah, there was a comment in Green Room that after day 1, people were kind of writing off C9, but after day 2, everyone's like, no, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Mhm.
Also, their first week, their opening matches were Art of War and RLS. So
Yeah, it's not
like,
easy.
not an easy opening week.
It was not.
I personally have them 5th on my power rankings.
Okay.
I think that right now they're going to be extremely inconsistent as a team. Teams that have weaker macro games are going to get eaten alive. And teams that have really, really strong macro games, like AWE right now, are going to eat them alive. So let's see. Who do they play next week? They play
PTP and INT.
I think we're going to get a full display of what I just said
Mhm.
in those 2 games.
Yeah, I think that's a good proving week. I think PTP and C9, I think they're the same in the standings, so both of them need to step up. And based off what happens to that, like if they win against PTP, that might give them that confidence. INT. And then maybe we see an upset. I don't know. Give me the content, please.
Yeah, it'd be hype. It would actually be really hype.
It'd be hype.
I want to be the one to be like, here are the reasons why C9 can win, but I personally don't have that right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how you pick apart Bow Explode right now. RLS has another week to figure that out, but right now I don't have the answer.
I want a full C9 Pepe Charlie Sylvia Pepe Sylvia situation to happen whenever they get to that point and they're like about to win. I want to see a video of that, of like, you see, like over here, this is the reason why C9 is doing so well. It's like Music Boy. Everybody's all about Music Boy.
All right, here's your fun statistics fact that I have from interacting with Jeff God Gamer a lot this season. Karma in one game has the highest KDA among champions in FOF this season and has 0% win rate.
Yep. I did hear about that. That's pretty crazy. I did hear about that.
It's
Karma, huh?
CEO of Bard is very, very good. And I think when the Bard gets unleashed, we'll understand.
Yep. Okay. You will see the folly of your ways when you let that through.
I can imagine if he's listening to this right now, I can imagine him being like, guys, shut up. I need people to forget about the Bard.
Username change can go a long way.
Yeah, true. I'll approve that name change, yeah.
Let's get into wet here.
Go. Last of the new teams, Team Wet, Edwin's team.
Now that I have a better idea of what this roster looks like,
yes,
I'm actually more confident where I put them. I've got them at 6th right now.
Okay.
I have them barely eking into the playoffs. And originally, my rationale for that is that I didn't have a lot of confidence in Eddie's jungling, no offense. But I felt like the other 4 players were really solid at what they were doing, and I also had confidence, especially after the Wash game, that they're another team that can play better than the sum of their parts. I'm more confident having Once Week in bot lane. I don't know how good Black Venom is at jungle. That remains to be seen. But if we assume average, then I think this team will get some upsets in some spots and be a team that rides into playoffs, but really sort of inconsistent the whole time. Every game's a banger kind of way.
Yeah, it does look like Black Venom is a jungle main from his
that goes a long way.
OPGG. So
a long way.
yeah, okay, possible. And then Eddie learning the support role. I mean, obviously that's going to take time. How Turtle.
I do think that team's interesting because they have a very different jungle pool.
Yeah.
There are 3 teams that have pretty different jungle pools than the rest. It's INT, and why am I forgetting? And Wet. They're the 3 that actually are doing some different stuff in the jungle, and so I'm kind of excited to see more of the Vi and the Amumu and those like really dedicated team fight tanks, and see how that ends up playing out.
No more Warleader.
I think that champion's so broken, and teams should just almost every time.
Yeah.
I think if any other top laner in the league got really confident in their Volibear, that champion's so broken. I mean,
it can be exceptionally strong. It can be exceptionally strong.
We're in a gold plat league, and it's like baby's first tower diver. It's perfect.
It has an escape button and everything, and a disable tower to make it last longer.
It's got point and click CC. It's got tons of damage. It's got tons of survivability. It turns off towers. You don't have to worry about your dive. You just flash on people level 3 and it all works out. Champion's busted.
The heroic, friendly.
Super.
Yeah.
Although I do think it's funny how often people forget that if you hard CC him when his Q is like charging at you, it just immediately comes back up.
Oh yeah. I mean, the amount of times you just get extra move speed off it is kind of great.
I do want to comment because we haven't really touched on them. Bacon Pancakes and Charu, I feel like, have actually been pretty dang good and should be in the conversations moving forward. I feel like I keep talking about Once Week because he's like, just like a homie.
He's the one, the staff member.
Yeah. But Bacon and Charu, pretty insane.
I've actually got my eyes on Turtle, personally.
Yeah, Turtle too.
Turtle's been the one that impressed me in week 1. I think Charu, like I've talked about junglers that do things differently. Charu is a mid laner that does things differently, and I'm really excited to see more Gallias and Twisted Fates. Because I think that will really mess up how teams have to play against them, and that's one of the reasons I think they're this like crazy upset wildcard team, is because you get a couple of those mid roams that go right, and things are going to be looking great for them.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Hey. Oh, so that's
the new ones, right? We're not missing anyone.
Yeah, no, those are the 3 main new ones, and even then, some of them are mostly like returning players, just rearranged.
Yeah, so we've talked about Wash, and we talked about those 3.
Yeah, so there's that.
Do quick dives on the rest.
I think we're kind of running up on time, so we can definitely talk about them.
I want to know everyone's power ranking. It's top to bottom, 1 through 8.
1 through 8.
Give me the no context. Give me the no context power rankings. Warleader, you go first, so Share gets time to think.
But you think I haven't been thinking this whole time? Is like, how do I piss the most people off with my power rankings?
I may have done it. We'll see.
Yes.
I've got INT first, second, RLS third, Art of War fourth, C9 fifth, Wet 6th, Wash 7th, and PTP in last.
Okay. Give me like the 2 to 5 sentence summary. Why do you think this?
INT and AW have the best macro right now. AW as an AWE. They have the best macro right now. I'm not sold on Art of War yet. I think they played two relatively weak teams. They played two bottom four teams, and when they play against somebody this week. They play against INT on Thursday, and I think that's going to be like the true litmus test of where this team is at. I want to see how close they play INT. If they manage to win, I think they're as good as hyped. If it's a stomp, I'll feel a lot more justified in putting them fourth. I think Cloud9 and Wet Team have a lot of upset potential. Wash is going to scale throughout the season, and they're going to make playoffs no problem. But right now, I think they're second to worst. PTP have the most issues right now, and the least obvious avenues to solving them.
Yeah.
So I've got them in last right now, but I think they're also a team that can take wins if they just win their lanes, but it hasn't happened yet.
Sharogen.
Okay,
Give me
so
your thoughts.
basically, it's very similar to Warleaders. I have INT AW as my top two, and then this is where things start to deviate a little bit. I have Art of War in third, RLS in fourth, C9 in fifth, followed by PTP, and then Wet and Team Washed. The basic reason behind that is INT and I think Team the Birds.
Yeah.
I feel like they've come out swinging pretty darn hard. Definitely, like you said, they show a lot of really good macro play. In the trees is just Bow Explode is just terrifying whenever he's on that Sejuani, which I don't know why people keep letting him pick Sejuani.
I don't know why people trundle into it.
It's there's a lot of different ways you can counter it, but it's just they haven't been. I don't want to say respecting it enough, because there were a couple of like those early ganks where I feel like he spent too much time in the mid lane and didn't, like, he was trying to gank the Sylas in day 2, and it just wasn't capitalized on. That he was spending so much time there. And then Art of War, again, I'm the Art of War stan who sits on the, like, I understand, I get it, I get why people might hate me for that. But at the same time, I feel like they're really strong this season, and I think Sword Blue's coaching has really started to shine through, and it's only going to get better as the season progresses and they start to kind of own their edge. RLS, you guys were really late signing up this season. So it's like, it kind of shows a little bit. It's like, I expect more. So it's more, that's part of the reason why I said, the only reason I didn't put C9 above you for the disrespect is because I respect you guys enough.
You don't gotta worry about that.
Grow.
We suck right now.
Yeah, it's like, you guys are gonna grow.
Everybody else just happens to suck more.
I know, you're gonna shake out those cobwebs. You're gonna be fine. Cloud9 is that team that I know. They are going to be like, I'm going to be watching them. I'm going to be like, you guys are screwing around. I know you're screwing around right now. You totally know what you should be doing, and you're just doing the wrong thing on purpose to piss people off. It's like, I get that feeling. They're the guys who are going to dance in Fountain or dance at the enemy Nexus and then throw that fight when it's completely exposed and then lose their own Nexus. That's going to happen. That's the feeling I get. And then going down the list, it's just, I feel like Team Wash is the only one that really stands out. I feel like the other ones stand out based off just kind of their plays and whatnot. Team Washed is kind of one of those teams where I'm just like, there's something that needs to gel better, and it's just not gelling right now. So it'll be interesting to see how that ends up playing out throughout the course of the season.
Thanks. I like that, Shark. All right, let me give you mine. Okay, so I'm gonna go from bottom to top, but let me just preface and say that my bottom 4, I feel like, could just be any of the bottom, like any arrangement of the bottom 4, and my top 4. But
Cheating.
I'm gonna tell you what my script says. Okay, my script says that Wet is 8th because it would piss off Edwin. PTP 7th. Right now, but then my storyline is that PTP 7th this season, but they come back next season and they come back top 3 for sure. So, Wash I have 6th right now, just based off of where they are right now. If they get better, they'll probably be better. C9 I have 5th. INT I have 4th because repeat winners are bad for ratings. And then A4 or Ima, whatever is what I got 3rd. And then my finals matchup is RLS and Art of War. what I feel like is going to happen. Art of War because Sword Blue Diff, and RLS because I make bank off of an RLS hoodie, let me tell you.
You have all the themes.
Not to mention the free promotions from whenever Ruby makes a video.
Facts.
True. Content gap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my hot take.
Let's go.
Wrap it
All
up,
right. Well, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up everything we wanted to talk about for Heroic. So I guess the only question is, what's up with Mythic?
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's coming up. Mythic, if you're listening, I have not forgotten about you. I know I've been only talking about Heroic, but you're on my mind, you're in my heart. That's coming up. September 5th is the first day of play. It's going to be a Monday. Mythic is on Mondays and Tuesdays. Heroic's Thursdays, Fridays. The reason why we stagger it so that it's sort of 3 weeks apart is because I really hate making finals production twice in like 1 week. So this is just easier for me. So I'm a little selfish, but I had to stagger it. Sorry, but that's going to work. But really exciting. BBZ's back. XT made a team. RLS super late reveal. I don't know if that's
I want to be a mystery.
Yeah. Fat Pikachu, Sundubu, and I'm soloing are back. They made a team together. Rex Regalis is back. TDE is back. Streetsfurf was able to secure a team, and of course Yubi has graduated from Heroic after 3 years of school here at Heroic Academy.
I just can't believe you put together a whole league just so you can have another BBC UB finals.
Yeah, man. Death to cats.
This is the year, Coach.
This is the year. I need an excuse for a BBC hoodie so I can buy one for myself.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Mythic's coming up. I hope you guys all watch it. Like, hopefully everyone in Heroic also watches Mythic, supports them as well, because a lot of Mythic players love watching you guys in Heroic.
It's such good learning.
Yeah, and it's crazy sometimes to see the difference.
It really is. It really is. The gameplay is just totally different.
Totally different.
All right.
But anyway.
Well, I think that's all we got for today's edition of The Lounge. So unless you guys have anything else you wanted to say before we sign off.
Shoutouts to Logitech G, Adobe Creative Cloud, and Academy of Art University for help with our show.
Hey, saves me from having to say it. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Warleader, thank you so much for dropping by. We appreciate having you. I'm sure we'll have you on again in the future.
I just got one quick thing to say.
Yes.
You know, we were robbed last week by Riot and us, so I might as well do it here.
Yeah.
Another dub for the Ruby League server. And then another dub for the Ruby League server.
Yeah, please fix spectator bugs, Riot. Please. Please.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on just how clutch the production was.
Yeah, okay, you know what? Yeah, okay, let me delay the outro real fast. Shoutouts to staff, because like season 2 Chris Sunga would have given up when I got the notification. Yeah. I would have been like, nope, FOF's over. But after 6 seasons, seems like staff handled it perfectly calm, just knew what to do, and awkward. It was great. Shoutouts to staff. Thank you so much.
The well-oiled machine that you have crafted is starting to become a perpetual motion machine that runs on its own.
I know, it'd be so nice.
Yeah, you don't even have to do anything, which is always awesome. And with that, we're going to go ahead and sign it off, folks. Everyone have a wonderful time, whatever time it is where you are. And remember, we will see you on the Rift.